Hola clase, this is Señorita Garcia, and today we're going to learn how to use the verbs that end in ER and IR correctly. Those are verbs such as leer, comer, escribir, beber, aprender. So, aprender, to learn. Okay, remember that an infinitive is the basic form of the verb when you have not changed it, the name of the action. So, for example, in Spanish, they end in ER or IR. And in English, that ER or IR, it means to. So, as we learn with AR verbs, we need to make the verbs usable. We cannot just walk around saying, I to learn, you to learn. So, the two steps to make those verbs usable are you drop the ER or the IR, and then you add the ending. These are the endings. O, es, e. Hemos for ER verbs and hemos for IR verbs. Vosotros is es for ER verbs and is for IR verbs. Ustedes, en. Ellos en, and ellas en. So, the only difference between ER and IR verbs is that they're different in the ER and IR form and the nosotros and the vosotros form. So, hemos, es for ER verbs, hemos, is for IR verbs. Let's practice this a little bit to make it more clear. So, we have the verb aprender, which is to learn. We take off the ending, which is the ER, and then we have aprend. So we're going to add the correct endings to aprender or aprend. So yo aprendo, tú aprendes, usted, él, and ella aprende. Nosotros aprendemos, vosotros aprendéis, ustedes aprenden, ellos and ellas aprenden. So remember that nosotros and vosotros are the only two that change between ER and IR verbs. And how am I going to remember if it's E or I? Well, these are verbs that are ER verbs, right? Aprender. So the nosotros and the vosotros form are going to be demos, aprendemos, and aprendéis. Now we're going to have an example with a verb that ends in IR, such as escribir, to write. So, what we're going to do is take off the IR, and then we have escribe. And then we're going to add the endings to escribe to make it usable. Yo escribo, tú escribes, usted, él, ella escribe. So far, so good, right? Just like ER verbs. Nosotros escribimos, vosotros escribís, ustedes, ellos, ellas escriben, just like the ER verbs. Now, remember that these are IR verbs, not ER verbs. So the nosotros and the vosotros form is going to change. And because they end in IR, we're going to have escribimos and escribís. And now, how do we make this negative? Very easy. You find the verb and then you put a no in front of it. For example, yo bebo agua. Yo no bebo leche. That's the negative form. Okay, clase. Now we're going to practice. And if you are going to have any questions, I'm going to be walking around and I will be able to help you. Okay, adios.